Let's
For sure.
talk about true confidence. You and I here, we're not talking about superficial confidence, confidence to compensate something. I remember, just to remember someone, I was in a networking event and I was on the outside. There are people inside. I was outside networking with some people, and there was one guy inside. He was so loud that we hear like what's going on with him. As a person who has trained eyes and ears, I knew something was going on. This person appears confident, he yells, he's loud, unusually. I waited until the end, then I tried to talk to him, but somehow he left. And I talked to someone. I just asked, "Do you know this person?" She said, "I don't know him, but he just shared with me his stories." I asked, "What's his story?" She told me that to compensate his fears, mingling with people, networking with people, he's speaking louder and so on and so forth, which is not true confidence, which means having ego, having being defensive, speaking loud, and so on. They're not really true confidence. I want you to define for us what's true confidence, and most importantly, what are the mindset, the skill set, the behaviors, the habits that we need to have true confidence.
So it's such a big topic, AZ, and I think there's been a lot of studies and authors about the subject. And what self-confidence is and what it's not is kind of important to talk about. And you're exactly one of the key things that I wanted to make the point of is that self-confidence, you don't want it to spill over into arrogance or, as you said, ego, because that's not true confidence. Somebody who's not willing to admit their mistakes or take constructive feedback positively, that's not confidence. That spills over. There's been some things lately, and really it's gone on for quite some time, targeting the concept of self-esteem, which is similar but a little bit different. And one of the things they've said as a criticism about the concept of self-esteem is that it's comparative to everybody around you, and that it's not okay to be average. It's like you ask a room full of people, how many of you are above average drivers? And 3/4 to 100% of them raise their hand. Well, mathematically, that's just not possible, right? Nobody wants to say, oh, yeah, I'm an average driver, or I'm an average leader, or I'm an average father, right? Nobody, no, that's not okay. And we think that's what we have to be better than anybody else or than the people around us or a peer group in order to have self-esteem. And really, that self-confidence is there's a lot of other selves that we have to address that are associated with it. One of those is self-awareness. So critical that we're self-aware of the feelings we have, so that nervousness we may feel, that fear we may have, but also that mindfulness about what are we saying to ourselves about it? Are we really beating ourselves up? Are we really questioning ourselves, or are we overestimating our worth and our experience and our capabilities? Because that is just as dangerous as questioning or undermining ourselves, because then that can lead into arrogance or making mistakes or doing things we're not prepared to do that can lead to lots of trouble or losing our reputation and those kind of things. So it has to do with that self-awareness, that mindfulness, and to be truly confident that, look, let me give you an example, okay? Saturday, 2 days from now, I'm going to compete in the Top Gun triathlon at Fort DeSoto Park, and I'm not ready. Even though it'll be my 7th sprint triathlon, I know it is going to be miserable. The run in particular is going to be horrible. I'll do fine on the swim and I'll do okay on the bike. But when I start running in that heat Saturday morning, I am going to die. It's going to be really hard. But I'm confident that I'll finish, even if I end up walking a good bit of that 5K, it won't be my best time, and I won't be, super proud, but I'll be proud that I finished. And it's that look, I know where I'm at. I'm realistic about my fitness and my training preparation. And so I'll get through it. And I got to kind of set multiple goals. And the key one is just to finish.
Yeah, this is really a great insight everybody should have. Self-confidence, true self-confidence is about you. It's not about comparing yourself with someone or overestimating. I like the keyword, being realistic, which means my self-confidence may not be like somebody else. Given my situation, where I am and who I am, I may have a confidence level which is true to me, where I am and who I am, but I don't need to compare myself with someone, or I need to calibrate and know where I am. That generates true self-confidence.